Hello, today we're going to talk about emotional intelligence in the workplace. So, as a manager, this is very, very important. Emotional intelligence is going to affect your relationship with the people you manage, and it's going to affect performance and the general behavior in the workplace. So, it's important in everyday management. So, emotional intelligence is not about being just nice or being soft. It's not about those things. It's about recognizing emotions, yours and the emotions of the people you manage, and responding in a way that really improves the outcomes. Imagine you're giving feedback to an employee, for example, and you notice their hesitation, they adjust the tone. So there's two different ways that you could provide this feedback. If you're emotionally intelligent as a manager, you could say, I can see this feedback has caught you off guard. Let's talk through it. If you're not using emotional intelligence, you might just say something like, this is just feedback. Don't take it personally. If you do it this way, it's going to put them on the defensive. So in this video, we're going to look at what emotional intelligence really looks like in the workplace and how as a manager you can use it effectively and properly. So let's start with the problem that many workplaces face. Let's go to the next slide. In real workplace situations, most issues that occur are not technical, but they're emotional. Meetings might happen and people go quiet. Managers avoid difficult conversations. People give defensive reactions to feedback. Imagine, for example, a manager says, we need higher standards. Now, the team may interpret that as meaning we're failing, we're not doing a good job. So without emotional awareness, a lot of managers risk escalating situations unintentionally and unnecessarily. So what not to do? Don't label someone as too sensitive or difficult, and make sure you understand emotional intelligence and how to interpret the right and use the right behavior. So to do this, a model is going to be very useful. So I'm going to give you a clear model on the next slide, and this is going to help you to know how to use EI. Okay, so a practical EI model. To understand emotional intelligence, you can use 4 components, 4 steps. So first is self-awareness, recognizing your own emotional triggers. Second is self-management, regulating your reactions. Third, social awareness, reading other people accurately or as best as you can. And then fourth is relationship management, responding in ways that enable you to build trust and create clarity. So one example is, imagine there's a deadline approaching and a bad emotional intelligence response could be, this is unacceptable. We've discussed this, it's unacceptable. A good response could be, I'm frustrated because we agreed on this deadline. Help me understand what's happened. How can we get this back on track? So I'm going to explain all of these 4 steps in more detail on the next 4 slides. We're going to go through each one. Let's look at self-awareness. Self-awareness. So self-awareness is about catching yourself before reacting, before overreacting or reacting in the wrong way. You could be feeling disrespected in a meeting. You could interpret this quite badly, or you might take time to think, I'm feeling undermined. Is it that intentional, or am I perhaps interpreting it in the wrong way? This pause is critical. So what you could say to the person or people involved is, I understand your concern. Can you expand on that? Can you explain what you mean by that? That gives them a chance to explain. Maybe you've interpreted it wrongly, and maybe you can find a good solution moving forward. So self-awareness prevents escalation. But awareness alone is not enough. We must manage our response. So let's look at the next slide. Self-management under pressure. It doesn't mean suppressing your emotions. It means choosing your behavior deliberately and with intention. So for example, imagine that an employee challenges your decision in front of the whole team. Your reactive response might be saying something like, if you have an issue, say it privately. Say it to me in my office. A more reasonable, a more managed response might be, that's an important concern. Let's explore it together. So you don't want to use your authority to shut down discomfort. When managers regulate themselves, they model emotional stability for the team. So never close down discomfort. Leave it open and talk it through. Let's now look at understanding others. So understanding others, we're talking about social awareness with teams. Social awareness means picking up signals that other people might miss. So in a meeting, silence might mean agreement, or it could mean fear, concern to speak up, a lack of psychological safety within the team. An emotionally intelligent manager might say, I'm noticing you've all gone quiet, or we've all gone quiet. What are we thinking? What are you thinking? So a scenario could be a high-performing employee suddenly disengages. So instead of assuming that they're lazy, you could have a private check-in, maybe call them in for a one-to-one and just have a chat. So don't just interpret it in a bad way. Have curiosity and investigate. So social awareness really can help you to develop the workplace relationships with the people you're managing. So notice body language, listen and think beyond just the words that you're hearing, and try and understand the team atmosphere and respond in an emotionally intelligent way. Let's go to the next slide. And we have managing relationships effectively. So we've kind of touched on this, but it's about combining empathy with accountability. So for example, you could say, I understand this project has been difficult, it's been hard. At the same time, we need to deliver it by Friday. How can I support you? What can I do to help you achieve this? This balances care and standards both together. So what you don't want to do is go to an extreme and be too soft or too harsh. It's about getting the balance. So with EI, it's about maintaining and getting performance without damaging trust. But the problem is many managers misunderstand EI completely. And let me explain why. Where it can go wrong is with these common EI mistakes. So mistake number one is thinking that EI means avoiding conflict. Mistake number two, being too focused on feelings and losing clarity. Mistake number three, believing it's personality based and not fixed. So let me give you an example of a misunderstanding. I didn't want to upset her, so I didn't mention the issue. That avoids discomfort and it damages the performance because you're not solving the problem. So you don't want to only worry about emotions. You don't want to be too nice. It's about performance tackling issues, but in a fair and an emotionally intelligent way. So you don't want to avoid tough feedback, and also you shouldn't overanalyze feelings sometimes. It's about getting the right balance. It's quite difficult to be really, truly emotionally intelligent as a manager. It takes practice, it takes experience. So can you learn emotional intelligence? I think that's a natural question. So the best way really is structured professional training in a safe environment and where you can practice with others and just practice these ways of speaking and ways of thinking in an emotional, intelligent way. So structured practice using realistic scenarios, but in a learning environment. If you are looking, by the way, to train emotional intelligence, if you're a trainer, HR, your company looking to provide EI training, we do have training materials with the slides, facilitated guidance, and the exercises included. So if you're a trainer, you can run these professional workshops with confidence. This is so important, emotional intelligence in the workplace. It's really, really important as a skill. Hope you enjoyed this video. I will see you in the next one. We're going to be talking about trust in the workplace very soon. That's going to be a good video. I'll see you soon.